Welcome to Shovelware Diggers. Our dig team is currently excavating the Softkey Shareware 2000 Hit Games 2CD collection. You can find a link in the video description containing the entire directory structure of this archive. It is week 200 of Shovelware Diggers. That means I'd like to take a quick moment to give a quick shout out to everybody who's, well, helped make this show exist, in a sense. Because these are the people who've helped make selections and guide the show to where it is now. As with every 50th week, I'll be joining the digs as well, and there'll be a 2-week hiatus following, where we'll pick up again on Wednesday, August 26th. But for now, these are the digs we've selected for the day. So if you'd like more information on how to join the dig team, simply follow the Patreon link in the video description. And without further ado, let's get to it. First up, we have a new digger, Cattell, who's dug up DOSGAMES /arcade2 /HELIOSI. So I think I might actually know what this is here. Although it's not spelled right. Also, it's only an executable in a DIS file. Maybe it's not what I thought it was. Let's type out fileid.dis and see what we got. Helius Helius 1 contains 9 bizarre and fun levels of game whose origin you simply won't believe. Combines strategy with action oriented. Yet this seems like it's what I think it is. It's just, why is the executable named differently? That's so weird. Yeah, this is exactly what I thought it was. Anyway, so this is Helius, or possibly Helius, or something like that. And yeah, it says press S to read story, or O for order form there. So yeah, basically, the reason why it says you won't believe the story, because I have actually played this before. It's something I intend to cover on Ancient DOS Games at some point, just haven't gotten around to it. But yeah, apparently the story of how this game came to be is that it's alien software. Not even kidding. Like, maybe the story's true, maybe it's not. It doesn't really matter, and I'm not going to get into it now. Consider that a teaser for when I actually do a proper episode on this. Although I am curious how much the guy was originally charging for this. Because here's the thing, I'm pretty sure Helios is freeware now. Like the Helios 1, there's 2 versions. There's Helios 1 and Helios 2, and 2 was the one you paid for. But I'm pretty sure it's all freeware now. And it looks like the second half of Helios was $10. So, knowing what I know about this game, that's actually not that bad. So let's actually go and play this. Don't even need to read the instructions. So basically, what you're trying to do is you're trying to clear these 9 levels in order to get a sort of password that you feed into those values there. I'm trying to remember how to actually feed in the different values. Oh, it's a Z key. So yeah, you have the ability to change these values here. And you're basically trying to figure out what the password is. But to figure out what each of these symbols is supposed to be, you go into a level, so we'll say this one. And then you control this orb. And you're basically trying to get to a flag. And you've got a little thing here, it's like an air pump. So you're basically controlling this orb around. Every time you push, you're gaining like momentum, but you're also losing like air at the same time. You can actually push all 4 direction keys at the same time if you want to lose air like real fast. But you can also fill yourself back up. And of course, if you fill yourself up too much, you kind of explode. But yeah, so the goal is to try and get to the flag of every level. I think you also have to get the gems too. Maybe. Like, if you actually notice that even though it looks like it's grid-locked, it's actually not. Like, I think there is a small grid in play, but it's not anywhere near as big as you think it is. Basically, you're not deflating unless you're pressing the buttons to actually go through your air and accelerate, so. And yeah, your size makes a huge difference too, because certain areas you're not going to be able to fit into if you're too big. But you can actually also completely run out of air and then die that way, because you don't have enough air left to be intact, so. Okay, that level wasn't really demonstrating this game very well. Let's try a different one. Okay, here we go. So as you can see, there's actually more to it than just collecting gems. Like, some levels will have these enemies they're shooting, and you can also gain a power-up which lets you shoot as well. I'm just trying to remember what key it is to do it. Okay, it's the control key to shoot. Of course, you need to actually get the power-up first. Although the weird thing about shooting is that it fires in the direction that you're moving in. And yeah, right now I've gotten really small, so I'm probably gonna die. Because I don't know where the air pump is in this level. Yep, there we go. Although different gem colors will actually have different effects on you. So like this yellow gem here actually brought me up to full size. Or this green gem here is what gave me the ability to fire. So even though this game's only 9 levels big, it's actually pretty challenging, despite the fact that those levels aren't actually all that big. Really, this is a game where you need a lot of patience to win. Because a lot of the time you're actually spending just sort of waiting to move in the direction you intend to. So yeah, it seems kind of unbelievable that this is actually made by aliens. But at the same time, it's like, it is different enough that even if it wasn't made by aliens, it's still, like, unique. I'm pretty sure there's not a lot of games that play like this, let alone have such a weird... just a weird aesthetic to it. Plus there's also kind of the dispute that, hey, how could it be alien software if it's got English in it? Well, the answer to that is that the raw game, according to the story from the author who released this, the game itself is what was actually contained on the alien things that he acquired. And that things like the menus and stuff were things that he added himself. So basically it comes down to whether you believe that or not. I don't know if I do, but that's not really it's not really worth fussing over, because what we have here is a unique game that has a pretty high level of difficulty, but is also not complicated and easy to play, and only costs $10 for the second half of it. So, I mean, all things considered, this isn't that bad. Next up, RuneFox has dug up WINGAMES /NEWWIN /F18NFZ. Oh boy, you guys better prepare your ears, because I actually know what this one is too. And if this works properly, this is one of those obnoxious games that is just loaded with sound effects. So, yeah, I'm pretty sure this is what I think it is. What's the file ID.diz say? F18 no-fly zone. Yep, this is exactly what I thought it would be. It even says here, full digital stereo. Stereo what? Stereo graphics? Because that is a thing. But yeah, so it also says it requires 6 megs of RAM. Maybe? I don't know, it seems like a pretty high requirement for when this game would have come out. But actually, it says the date is 94. Well, I've never actually looked at the README for this, so let's see what we have here. So F18 No Fly Zone, designed and created by Doe Entertainment. Doe a Deer. Copyright 94. We don't have an actual author name. At least not yet. Okay, that's a little weird. It's saying you have to have a 16-bit sound card to get stereo sound effects? No, that doesn't make any sense. Even the Sound Blaster Pro, which was 8-bit, could do stereo sound. Yes, and supposedly this thing can do Q sound as well, which is kind of laughable when you see what this is, but whatever. I better remind myself what the controls are here. Now it says the mouse controls are sluggish. Or unless it's saying if it is sluggish, press F2 to configure it. Okay, this might be pertinent because we might need to adjust these timing settings. So, probably going to have to do a few things to get this working if it's perfect. Now, it says here it's version 1.0. I think there are actually later versions, but I think they're mostly just bug-fixed versions. And yeah, it's saying here that the higher the resolution, the more room you'll have to run in. So, I guess there's no more delaying it. Prepare your ears. Not entirely certain if this is stolen music or not, but there you go. F-18 no-fly zone. So, actually, we never did take a look to see what the price was for this. Where's the order? Is it orderme.txt as opposed to order form or whatever? How much did they want for this? $17 US and $3 for shipping and handling. So that's not terrible. That does make it a $20 piece of software in a sense. So yeah, let's see. Is this worth $20? And yeah, we have a mission screen here that tells us what we have to do. The sun begins to disappear behind the mountains. You make your final pass over the no-fly zone. As you glance up, something in the distance catches your eye. Suddenly your radar goes berserk. You find yourself in the middle of one of the largest ground and air assaults. No time for whys or hows, just time to fight for your life. And then tells you what kind of power-ups you can collect there. And yeah.
Okay.
I forgot about that okay sound effect. Oh, you have to restart to enable stereo? Okay. Okay, now I'm pretty sure that we're talking about stolen stuff here because I think that's an icon from Hyperoid, which I don't think was made by the same person. I don't think. Maybe it was? And yeah, I'm pretty sure I've seen these icons for other games as well, so like maybe it's all the same person, I don't know. It just seems very weird because I'm pretty sure these are not icons from this game. Okay, that's weird. So the stereo sound is working, but yeah, you can tell that here that's sort of like delayed. Like it's definitely in stereo though. Yeah, I think I'm gonna have to turn that off. Anyways, let's play this. Well, that's way too fast. Oh, that's because it's set on the highest speed, no wonder. There we go. Sounds still a little crunchy for some reason. Wonder if I can fix that. No, the emulation for this doesn't seem to be perfect, so I will say that having played this game before, I do know that it's supposed to sound better than this. The sound is really glitched out at the moment, but I'm chalking that one up to emulation because I know it's supposed to sound like perfect. Now, a while back we were playing a game called Quattro Command, and this game is actually very similar to that. In fact, I think this one came after Quattro Command. Because you see, we sort of have like a health bar that works pretty much the same way, where your extra lives actually get more depleted themselves. It's also possible to get like missiles and such, but I haven't seen any power-ups for that yet. And I do like the sort of dot matrix display effect at the top of the screen. Ooh, there's a power-up. There we go, so now we got some missiles. So we just use the right mouse button and I'm not sure if the missiles, like, home in on... Yeah, I forget the exact function of how the missiles work. Like, they're supposed to home in on your enemies, but they don't exactly do it very well. Also, one thing that's a little annoying is you actually have to stop firing for a moment to launch missiles. Okay, so we actually beat the first level here. So we just hit OK and we're already on to the next. So yeah, this is basically a cheap version of Space Harrier. But at the same time, it's like, for a Windows 3.1 game, like, this isn't that bad. Like, it controls properly, which is nice. I probably should have get the sensitivity up a little more on the mouse controls, because it's actually... The mouse controls are sort of limited into how fast your plane can move. And yeah, when you die, you lose all of your, missiles, which is not fun, but whatever. Oh hey, I actually got a medal for some reason. I don't know why, but... And now we're playing at night. We actually have new kinds of jets as well, with much faster missiles which are hard to dodge. Oh yeah, how the heck are you supposed to dodge those? Missiles go like stupidly fast. And I think I'm about to go down. Yup.
Man. Game over, man. Game over.
Yeah, that was definitely ripped from Alien, or Aliens, one of the two. So yeah, F-18 no-fly zone. Strong presentation, no, kind of weak gameplay, but then decent for 3.1, for Windows 3.1. It's a weird mix, but it's still interesting. And last dig for today from me is WINGAMES /OG/HEXTRIS. Man, my selection is going to seem so boring by comparison, but also it's weird that it's just a single executable, no text files or anything, and it's called bitmap.exe for some reason. But when you run this, yeah, it's pretty much exactly what you would expect. HEXTRIS version 1.0. And yeah, this is exactly what you would think it is. It is a hexagonal version of Tetris. With its own kinds of pieces and everything. This is something I actually played a surprising amount of. I mean, it was just fascinating being able to play Tetris in a very different way. Because you have to admit, this is definitely a very different way of playing Tetris. And yeah, all you're trying to do is make lines, although it's not super clear, like, where the lines are. Like, I'm pretty sure this will make a line if I drop this here. Or maybe not. Yeah, I'm not entirely certain where the lines qualify. Okay, will this make a line? Okay, that one made a line. So yeah, it's not super clear where the lines are actually made and fall off, but, you know, the whole premise is still pretty simple when it comes down to it. You're just trying to make lines, but you're using hexagonal shapes as opposed to square shapes. So, and the controls are very simple too. It's just the numeric keypad, you use left and right on it to move your piece, and then up on the numeric keypad is what rotates, and then down insta-drops. And that's really all there is to it. So what happens if I drop this here? Okay, so that only made one line. So it's definitely doing some kind of interesting calculation to determine where the lines are. I think the thing I find most neat about this is just the fact that the pieces are so very different and yet so very similar as well. Like, you kind of get an idea of, like, this piece right here. There is not really a good analog to that piece in a square form. But this one here, this is an L shape, like, clearly. Like, with typical Tetris with square pieces, an L shape makes perfect sense. And here we've got the straight line. But one thing that's interesting is that the straight line has 3 orientations now, because of the fact that we're using hexagons. We've got the S shape right here. S shape is a classic shape. Even the squares are now rotatable. Like, in normal Tetris, the squares don't spin, but here, they spin. And this is probably one of the more interesting ones, because it's kind of like a T shape, but kind of not. I don't know how you describe that one. And then this is probably the most intriguing piece, because there's definitely not an analog to it, and you only have 2 rotations on it. So yeah, there's some definite interesting things going on with having hexagonally shaped pieces in Tetris, as opposed to what we all pretty much know and use. Trying to see if I can make like a nice big set. I just need a straight one now, but it's not giving me straight ones. Come on, give me a straight one so I can make a whole bunch of points all at once. One thing that's kind of misleading though is that it's actually closer to the top than it looks right now. It's not giving me any straights. Come on, give me a straight. I don't know how much. There. No! Because as you see, it's like, it looks like it goes up further, but it actually doesn't. It's been extended because of the fact that we're playing this in an 800 by 600 screen when this was made for 640 by 480. In fact, that's kind of part of the reason why Oh, that was weird. If I move the message window, it actually started a new game without clearing the screen. So yeah, and you can even see the next display is kind of messed up here as it's going off the edge there. Because yeah, I don't think this game was ever properly finished. And the thing is we don't really have any info on this. Like, there's nothing you can bring up that tells you, like, any about info or anything. This is like there's no author information. There's, like, nothing in the menu here. Like, we don't know who... I don't know who made this. If somebody knows who made this, let me know. Or if there's, like, later versions that are less buggy. Because as we saw, this version has some bugs. But it didn't matter to me. I still played the heck out of this because I liked the idea of a different kind of Tetris. In fact, one of the many game ideas I have revolves around the idea of a fully customizable Tetris experience, where you can change like all the different rules and everything and basically make your own... It's like a Tetris game creator almost. It's not something I'll probably ever make, which is why I don't mind talking about it, but it's an idea I've had. An idea I've mused over making, but then at the same time, in order to actually get licensed to make a Tetris game is not easy. And the Tetris company is very protective of their trademarks and everything. So it would be challenging to make such a game in a legal way. So that's kind of part of the reason why I've never pursued it. But yeah, Hextetris, author unknown. Definitely one of the more interesting ones I've come across.